Located in north-central Kansas, the city of Salina has seen its economy change over the years from a cattle trading hub, agriculture center, and prosperous mill town before the U.S. Army established an Air Force base south of the city in the 1940s. When the base reopened for the Cold War, the city experienced a massive population boom, going from just 21,000 residents to 43,000 in the 1960s. By then, many businesses were relocating from the downtown to south of the city closer to the military base. When the Air Force shuttered the airfield by the middle of that decade, it would be converted into a municipal airport and industrial park. Naturally, the booming economy drew the eyes of mall developers, and in 1971, Salina's first enclosed shopping center was opened. By the following decade, Mid-State Mall was struggling when a new 60-store, 500,000 square foot shopping center was announced to open on 114 acres of former wheat fields, almost just across the street from the tiny mall. It would take 7 years of tooth and nail fighting between the city, downtown, and mall developers before the new Central Mall opened to great success, remaining a vibrant commercial hub for nearly 25 years, until new owners were unable to match that vigor that Womack had in seeing his dream to fruition. Since then, the mall has struggled but still enjoyed moderate success. However, in 2025, a new proposal to demall the property has endangered this amazingly largely unchanged 80s time capsule, making many wonder if Central Mall's time draws short.
If you know Ruin Road, you know we value our privacy. In our personal life, it's not always easy to maintain. Whether we know it or not, sites will mine our data like full name, email, health records, and more, which they will sell to scammers, spammers, and anyone else who wants to snoop. That's why we started using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows us which data brokers are selling our personal information and automatically submits opt-out requests on our behalf. This not only reduces the amount of spam you'll get, but protects against hackers who can use this information to gain access to our social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. Aura also provides a ton of other features bundled into one easy-to-use app at an affordable price. You get antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft insurance, and more without needing to bother with different apps. We all have one or more of these tools already, but not having Aura is like locking the front door and leaving the back door wide open. And if you're a regular viewer, you'll know how often that happens. Like 24-hour security, motion sensors, and guard dogs, Aura is always on, doing the hard work of keeping my info safe so I can focus on other tasks with peace of mind. Relaxing. Ruin Road values our privacy, and we also value yours. Go to aura.com/ruinroad to start a free 2-week trial, also linked below in the description.
When Arkansas-based developer Ed Womack approached the city with his $30 million mall and housing development idea in 1980, many were not sold on the idea. The Mid-State Mall already was dead, noting that the sole remaining anchor of Walmart was the only thing that really got any traffic. But Womack was persistent. Referred to as the Mall Wars by locals, the 7-year battle between the city, downtown merchants, and Womack Company was full of stops and starts, and many assumed it would never happen. But after his requested $24 million bond was shot down in 1983, Wormack went back to the drawing boards, and the following year, a $10 million bond was approved. Delays with several anchor tenants' leases pushed construction back until September 1985, when ground was also broken on a $7 million revitalization of Salina's downtown. No doubt anxious to finally get things rolling, Central Mall held a soft opening on February 25, 1987, despite having just 40% of the mall ready. JCPenney had opened to large crowds early February, while the other two anchors of Dillard's and Bell's opened several days ahead of schedule as well, both holding prize drawings and Dillard's stating they sent out over 70,000 coupon books to area residents. If there was any anxiety by Wormack and the community, the grand opening alleviated many of those fears, with merchants saying their stores were packed and many meeting their sales goals halfway through the day. 1 month later, many merchants elsewhere in Salina admitted Central Mall was enriching the economy. The mall continued to open stores throughout the summer until construction was finally completed in September. While a July storm would rip a section of the roof off, a number of events were held inside the mall. With the first of an annual antique show held, concerts, and the Festival Americana celebration in August, which featured appearances by the new Laurel and Hardy, Mad Hatter Marionette Show, a display of gowns worn by presidential first ladies, and the Wheatland Express Bluegrass Band. But by the following year, things had begun to stagnate. Initially, Wormack had announced the mall would be 70% occupied by the time construction was completed, a goal they did not meet until November the following year. Many store merchants expressed their concern with the slower than hoped growth, but also noted no stores had closed either. The downtown revitalization had also not been as successful as hoped, while Midstate Mall soon found itself anchorless, eventually going into foreclosure and converted into the strip plaza it operates as today. 1989 continued to be a tumultuous year for Central Mall, with the food court seeing several businesses come and go. A months-long winter promotion offered shoppers a chance to earn mall bucks with any purchase, which could then be used at an auction held in March. While the third annual baseball card show in October featured Major League Hall of Famer George Kell and Yankees player Don Larson. That summer, Sears announced they would build the long-planned fourth anchor onto the back of the mall, opening spring 1990, and helping to raise the 75% occupancy rates amidst the national recession. By the following year, Central Mall stepped up their community involvement to draw in shoppers, first with a puppet show, balloons, and a free showing of All Dogs Go to Heaven for their 4th anniversary. 2 months later, they partnered with Dr. Pepper to hold a scavenger hunt inside the mall, where whichever child found the most of the 4,000 Dr. Pepper bottle caps hidden inside the mall winning free movie passes. Several new annual events began this year, including a Get High on Life anti-drug fair and senior citizen prom with live music and door prizes. The following year, Central Mall was chosen to hold the after-prom party for the local high school's prom as well. Astronaut Richard Gordon appeared as part of a promotion for the 5th year anniversary, and kids were invited to write an essay on why they wanted to be an astronaut, the first place winner receiving a week's scholarship to NASA Space Camp. Shoppers got a front row seat to a gunfight October 1992. When police spotted a woman driving erratically, they pulled behind her as she parked in the Dillon supermarket across the street from the mall. The 45-year-old woman chose to ignore the officer and began walking into the store, when suddenly she turned and opened fire on the cop after he tried following her. As people watched, most didn't even realize the woman scooting behind a truck was the actual shooter. Finally surrendering after several rounds of gunfire were exchanged. She would be sentenced to 5 to 15 years for attempted murder. By 1993, Salina's economy was picking up business again, and the mall continued its kid-friendly events, hosting a Halloween costume contest, karate demonstration, weekly children's story times in the food court, and an overnight lock-in event for almost 300 Girl Scouts was held. When a truck bound for the mall's JCPenney crashed along I-70 outside of town, hundreds of Nike high-top shoes were scattered across the area and into the adjacent creek, resulting in westbound lanes closed for 8 hours while officers guarded the shoes from looters as they were collected. Central Mall was voted as residents' favorite place to shop in 1995, winning again the following year, at which time it was noted as seeing around 10,000 shoppers per week and enjoying 80% tenancy, the highest it had ever been. For its 10-year anniversary in 1997, the movie theater finally began its expansion from 4 to 8 screens, while the mall held a holiday season sweepstakes where anyone presenting over $50 in receipts could enter to win a dishwasher. An annual job fair exposition began at this time, highlighting the mall's gradual transition from retail to more non-traditional commercial businesses that was beginning at this time too. Things livened up more at the new millennium, with an annual yo-yo contest starting in 1999 and a Pokemon tournament in January 2000. The following month, for a storm and safety event, a 6-foot-tall tornado was created inside using dry ice and industrial fans. While on the road for a concert tour, rock star Alice Cooper was seen shopping at the Central Mall in October 2001 after spending the night in Salina. And when the first Harry Potter film was released the following month, magicians and yo-yo experts performed tricks in front of a custom-built Hogwarts castle in the food court before Santa Claus arrived for the season. And the first 50 children to arrive dressed in Harry Potter costumes received free tickets to see the movie. (2002) was perhaps an even bigger year for the mall, as the movie theater began a $450,000 renovation and expansion to 10 screens, opening just in time for the highly anticipated Star Wars Episode II. When the Lord of the Rings sequel was released in December that year, lines yet again formed out into the mall. Thieves took advantage of the packed movie theater when the third Lord of the Rings film came out in December 2003. Breaking into a string of cars in the parking lot during a midnight showing. While in August, 4 stores inside the mall were broken into in a single night, looting the cash registers. The following summer, over $4,000 was stolen from the mall's GameStop. Around that same time, an 11-year-old yodeler was the first place winner in a Star Search event put on by the mall, winning $1,000 and going on to perform on Wichita TV. Auditions for the 12th season of reality television series Survivor were held at the mall the summer of 2005, while the mall itself implemented a chaperone policy for anyone under 16 years old, which drew mixed reactions. A strongman competition was sponsored by GNC. While long before he became the Tiger King, Joe Exotic brought his traveling zoo to Central Mall in 2006, when Warmack announced they were selling the building to Investment Properties of America for an undisclosed price, at which time it was sitting at 93% occupied. While many were optimistic about the new owners, things seemed to go south quickly. News articles dried up almost instantly, and by 2012, it was noted the mall was starting to die. In 2017, renovations were announced that would add several exterior-facing stores and remove the center court fountain, but stalled out before any further work was done.
Oh my God.
Another long-standing feature of the mall to be remodeled sometime after 2021 was the much-beloved aquarium in the food court, which was the largest freestanding aquarium in Kansas. Named after Bruce Zamarzla, a local biologist who was instrumental in the 25-foot, 15,000-gallon freshwater aquarium's construction when the mall opened, it was stocked with fish caught out of local waters, such as an 81-pound catfish named Moby Dick caught back in 1989, just 5 pounds under the world record. Bruce maintained the tank until he passed away in 1994, and despite being renovated for the mall's 25th anniversary in 2012, it was again drained sometime after 2021. By then, International Growth Properties had purchased Central Mall following the loss of most of its anchor stores. Despite this, the mall's interior has remained relatively full, seeing an amusement center called District Eat and Play open inside the former Sears. They say everything comes around, and regular viewers of our mall series will know this is mostly true. So it should come as no surprise that in September 2025, a $146 million redevelopment plan was put forth that would see Central Mall converted into a mixed-use open-air plaza named Destination Salina.
On Monday, city commissioners will hear a presentation on a project called Destination Salina that would be located at 9th Street in Magnolia. That's near the site of the Central Mall. The proposed district would include golf bays, mini golf, a restaurant, and turfed areas. The project would be a public-private partnership with funding mechanisms including STAR bonds, transient guest tax, community improvement district, tax increment financing, and sales tax exemption on construction materials.
As the mall's announcement back in 1980 drew vicious debates, so too has this new proposal. Central Mall still sees nearly 3.5 million visitors per year with its 60% occupancy, and estimates for this new development project that number may only be bumped by an extra million visits, drawing many residents to question if the tax spikes are worth it, along with putting dollars in out-of-town developers. Virtually the same arguments given 45 years ago when Ed Warmack first put forth the idea of Central Mall. It took him 7 years of relentless pressure to see the mall built, and time will only tell if these new developers have that same perseverance. I for one hope that in the future viewers can still have a chance to walk through this delightfully unchanged 80s time capsule. But if not, its history will always be preserved on video.